David here with Figboot on Pens, back again with another fountain pen review. Today I have a pen for you from a brand I've been familiar with for a couple of years, but it might be new to you. It's always fun to introduce you to something new and interesting. The name of the company is HelloTello Studio, and the pen I have to show you today is called the Venice Oversized. What I'm going to do today is go over the parts and features of this pen made from some rather unique eye-catching material, talk about what I care for and what I don't care for about it. I'll show some measurements, size comparisons, and provide a writing sample. Thanks go out to HelloTello Studio for providing this pen for review. The gentleman behind the company is John Tello, which gives the name of the company some meaning. He currently lives in Ohio, but has lived around the world, spending time in places like Mexico and Brazil, as well as Italy. He's developed skills in a number of artistic mediums, including painting and drawing, photography, and graphic design. In 2015, he became interested in pen making and has been working to perfect the craft ever since. Besides pen making, John is also actively involved in efforts to help the survivors of human trafficking, which is a worthwhile cause. Okay, the pen arrived to me in this large box, but there's a bunch of stuff in here. There is a Help Maui sticker. John is also actively working to help the victims of the devastating Hawaii wildfires. There is a little polishing cloth with a stylized H, which is the HelloTello logo. There is another nice sticker of a pen, pretty much full size. There are instructions here that are nice, that they show you how you can fill the pen by dipping the nib and section into the ink, and then on the back it demonstrates how to fill it by removing the converter and filling it directly. There is some information about the Venice line, which is nice. And then there is this little envelope. Inside the envelope is a warranty card, some information about the pen sleeve, which I'll show you in a moment, and an abundance of stickers. Like this one here. I like this one that depicts some Venetian glass, which I'll talk about more here in a moment as well. Then there is a really nice pen sleeve. I mentioned it earlier that John is active in causes relating to human trafficking. These pen sleeves are hand sewn by survivors of trafficking in Italy, and creating these sleeves as well as other products gives these victims some more dignified employment and helps them write a new life story. Okay, that was a lot of stuff. I told you there was a lot of stuff, but most important thing here is we have this cardstock sleeve, and that is the pen. This is the HelloTello Studio Venice Oversized. It's made from a unique micarta material from a company called Crazy Fiber. I really like this yellow and orange bold color combination. This type of material is used to make a wide variety of products like knives and pool cues, musical instruments, and even fountain pens. Go figure. This material is handmade, so no two pens are going to look alike. You can see a bit of the square pattern of the material used to make this micarta. Micarta can be made from a number of materials like linen or canvas or carbon fiber. It's layered in a thermosetting resin. It is temperature resistant and also water and oil and alcohol resistant as well. Here are some examples of different varieties of this material. I'm still liking the orange best. Maybe let me know in the comments below which your favorite is. Okay, let's take a look at the parts of this pen. On the top of the cap, it is adorned with a signature element of HelloTello Studio pens, which is a Venetian glass mosaic. These are glass beads, also known as Murano beads. Murano is on a large island just right off the coast of Venice, Italy, and is renowned for its long tradition of glass making. I think that these yellow and orange flowers really match the colors of the micarta as well. It just feels like an extension of the material. Here are some examples of different color combinations on other HelloTello Studio pens. I like how each of these feels like the bead inlay was artistically applied. There was some intention in the patterning. This is a clipless pen. The cap angles up slightly for about the first inch, and then it straightens out. The transition from the cap to the barrel is very smooth. In the middle here, you have a nice ink window. I like that on this model, the translucent window has an orange tint to match the overall color scheme of the pen. It helps it aesthetically flow a little bit better, and the window isn't visually jarring. After the ink window, the barrel tapers down and the end of the barrel is flat. I like the nice cross-section look of this material here. It's just another nice visual element. The cap twists off with 2 full rotations. The cap is very small. The intention behind the design was that with a smaller cap, the nib is exposed to less air and it helps prevent the nib from drying out. Once you have removed the cap, you are presented with a number 6 stainless steel Bach nib. This nib is available in extra fine, fine, medium, or broad. And here's a look at the plastic feed. The section begins with the cap threads, and then there's a decent sized step up to the section itself. The section is straight, and then transitions smoothly into the ink window. Now, coming in at about 15.5 millimeters, this is a very chonky section, and I am very fond of chonky sections. This design did present a couple of issues for me, however. While I don't find this micarta to be slick and you can easily maintain a solid grip, I tend to grip my pens a little closer to the end of the section. And with the threads taking up a portion of that, if I want my grip to be completely on the section and not spill over to the threads, I need to grip the pen a bit further back than I typically would, and the writing experience just feels a bit different. If my grip spills over the edge to the threads, the fairly large step down is a little uncomfortable. So you're going to want to keep your grip fully on the section. Another thing about having the cap threads up front like this, when you ink up the pen, those threads are going to get dipped in the ink as well, and they can be a bit challenging to clean. I found that just using a dry tissue or cloth really doesn't do the trick. You need to really have something moist or wet in order to get the ink from the narrow threads. And the step up to the barrel makes it a bit tough to reach everywhere to clean. It's not a major issue, just something to be aware of when you're inking and cleaning your pen. I do like the feeling of the micarta in my hand. The material has some warmth to it. The cap really isn't designed to post. You can kind of get it on there, but it's not very secure, so you'll want to use this pen unposted. This is a cartridge converter pen. It accepts standard international cartridges, and a converter is provided. I like how the barrel threads are just an extension of the material that is used in the ink window. The HelloTello Studio Venice Oversized can be found on the company website. I will put a link to it in the notes below. The prices vary a bit depending on the material being used. For this micarta, the price is $340. For a uniquely designed bespoke pen made from some eye-catching material, that's on the high end of what I feel the value proposition is for this pen, but I don't feel the pricing is out of line. I will say that it feels like higher-end bespoke craftsmanship, so the quality helps justify the price. Like most small manufacturers, the inventory on the company site will vary. It's not like larger manufacturers where they have an endless supply of a single pen. Typically, the inventory you see on a site are the specific pens which are for sale, one of each. I would highly encourage you to check out the site. There are a lot of very sharp looking pens, and if you would care to have something made that you don't see currently available there, you can always contact John through his site in order to commission a pen of your choosing. Thanks again go out to John for providing this pen for review. Now it is time for some measurements, size comparisons, and a writing sample. Okay, here we go with some size comparisons for the HelloTello Studio Venetian Oversized. Wanted to give you another look at this material, which I think is just really cool and eye-catching. Like I said, I think the I think the orange tint looks really nice here for the ink window, and this Venetian glass is just a nice touch as well. In regard to some size comparisons, first of all, I wanted to show you some other versions of micarta. First of all, this is a micarta pen from Skogsy Pens, and this kind of gives you a kind of a better look at how this material is layered. This is kind of the same layering that's on this pen, it's just different colors, so you see it differently. And then I have two pens from Monty Winfield. This is their micarta model. I believe that one's just called the micarta. And then this one is called the High Water. And so you can see here with a polished finish as opposed to more of a matte finish. Even from the same manufacturer, the micarta can have different looks to it. And in regard to some non-micarta pens, here it is with a Lamy All-Star. And then here it is with a TWSBI VAC 700 Iris. And then finally, here's a pen that I don't know if I'll review in the near future or not, but it is from the Mad Science Pen Company. And I honestly don't remember what the name of this pen, but it is certainly cool. I really like this frosted look here. And then with this ebonite, or not this ebonite, but this resin, just looks really interesting. Has a very small cap, kind of a fluted end here. It's just a real unique design and something that's fun to use. And that's what it looks like in comparison to the HelloTello Studio pen. In regard to uncapped comparisons, this is what it looks like with the TWSBI VAC 700. And then here it is with that Skogsy micarta model. And here it is with the Lamy All-Star. So here we go with the writing sample for the HelloTello Studio. And this is the Venetian Oversized. This is a, you know what, I think it is a medium. It's a medium or maybe it's a broad. I can't quite remember, but it is very nice. And the ink that I'm using here is an ink that is available only through HelloTello Studio, which is from Anderillium Inks. And it is the Anderillium Alba Turquoise. This is what the ink looks like. It's a bit on the greener side of turquoise compared to something like the Visconti turquoise, which is a little more blue, and the Omas turquoise. And then we have a Pelican turquoise and the Paniter turquoise. This is what the ink bottle looks like. This is the 1.5 ounce bottle, and it's nice and wide up top so you can get all sorts of nibs in there. And Anderillium makes some really nice inks. And here we go with the rest of the writing sample. Like I mentioned before, that since there are these threads here, that has a tendency to push my grip a little bit farther back, and I'm having to write a little bit farther back than I normally would, so I want to kind of creep forward. But then if I do so, I kind of go over the edge, and that's not comfortable. So I have to kind of at least make a conscious effort to stay back a little bit. This nib is very nice. You're not going to get a lot of line variation out of this steel nib, even if you press it, but this does lay down a decently fat line. In regard to ink flow, it's decent. And in regard to reverse writing, it's fairly smooth. And then in regard to some fast writing, the feed has no problem in keeping up. So there we have the HelloTello Studio Venetian Oversized. I'd strongly recommend you check out the HelloTello Studio website. There's a lot of really cool pens there. And I always enjoy discovering a new company and seeing a number of cool things that I've never seen before. And that John Tello does some great work. And so, like I said, I encourage you to check out his site. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.